All right, welcome to St. Bridget's Spiritualist Church for September Sunday service, November 17th. Some days I wish it was still September. First of all, I just want to make announcements. We have, you notice we didn't have a tea yesterday, so we're having it November 30th, and it's going to be noon to 4, and it's the same system. Kind of come in, and then we'll have the readers here. So hopefully you can join us, and let your friends come. It's always fun. It's our last event of this year, so hopefully you can make it and get some messages and get whatever healing you may require. Also, December 8th, which is a Sunday, after Sunday service, we're going to have our we have like I don't know, like a tea or whatever, just to visit, like a social kind of thing. So we'll just, after Sunday service, just have everybody get together, if you want to bring food or whatever, and just enjoy each other's company. And before, we kind of wrap up for the end of the year, and everybody can get together and get to know each other and just have some company. All right. So today, it was funny because I was trying to prepare for service, and I came across some paperwork as being, I am a trained end-of-life doula. So I have acquired paperwork and things from different people who I know if they've either done hospice care or whatever, because it's always nice to have a lot of stuff. And one of my favorite people that I have seen actually in person do talks is Dr Wolfelt. I think is how you pronounce his name. And he is an amazing doctor out of Colorado who's works with grief, and he's an amazing resource. And I do want to say I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I don't have those abilities. So if you require help with this, please see a professional or someone who is equipped to do so. But today I want to talk about I just thought this was wonderful, is helping yourself heal when someone loved dies. Okay, and this is by Dr Wolfelt, and he's a director, Center for Loss and Life Transition, Fort Collins, Colorado. Okay. Someone you love has died. You are now faced with the difficult but important need to mourn. Mourning is the open expression of your thoughts and feelings regarding the death and the person who has died. It is an essential part of healing. You are beginning a journey that is often frightening, painful, overwhelming, and sometimes lonely. This article provides practical suggestions to help you move forward, healing in your personal grief experience. Okay. So first he says, realize your grief is unique. I think a lot of people forget that. They all think, oh, well, look at how she's doing or whatever he's doing. They seem fine, or, oh, they're a basket case. It's unique. Everybody's unique. Okay. Your grief is unique. No one will grieve in exactly the same way. Your experience will be influenced by a variety of factors. The relationship you had with the person who died, the circumstances surrounding the death, your emotional support system, and your cultural and religious background. As a result of these factors, you will grieve in your own special way. Do not try to compare your experience with that of other people or to adopt assumptions about just how long your grief should last. Consider taking a one-day-at-a-time approach. This allows you to grieve at your own pace. And I know I've had people who've lost, their children or, their spouse or whatever, and people are like, wow, it's been a year, they were like, why aren't they picking themselves up? Well, who are you to say, And there's always that saying, you're fortunate, if you haven't loved some, if you have it, how does it go? You're fortunate to not feel like that, or kind of sort of thing, like if you haven't loved someone so much, to actually have that grief. I don't think you're fortunate, but it's just kind of something like that. You just got to let people grieve and how they do. Okay. But he says, talk about your grief. Express your grief openly. By sharing your grief outside yourself, healing occurs. Ignoring your grief won't make it go away. Talking about it often will make it feel better. Allow yourself to speak from your heart, not just your head. Doing so doesn't mean that you're losing control or going crazy. It is a normal part of your grief journey. Find friends who are caring and relatives who will listen without judging. Seek out those persons who will walk with, not in front or behind you in your journey through grief. Avoid persons who are critical or who would try to steal your grief from you. They may tell you, keep your chin up, or carry on, or be happy. While these comments may be well-intended, you do not have to accept them. You have a right to express your grief. No one has the right to take that away. Expect to feel a multitude of emotions. Experiencing loss affects your head, heart, and spirit. So you may experience a variety of emotions as part of your grief work. Confusion, disorganization, fear, guilt, relief, or explosive emotions are just a few of the emotions that you may feel. Sometimes these emotions will follow each other within a short period of time, or they may occur simultaneously. As strange as some of these emotions may seem, they are normal and healthy. Allow yourself to learn from these feelings, and don't be surprised if out of nowhere you suddenly experience surges of grief, even at the most unexpected times. These grief attacks can be frightening and leave you feeling overwhelmed. They are, however, a natural response to the death of someone loved. Find someone who understands your feelings and will allow you to talk about them. Okay. Allow for numbness. Feeling dazed or numb when someone dies is often part of your early grief experience. This numbness serves a valuable purpose. It gives your emotions time to catch up with what your mind has told you. This feeling helps create insulation from the reality of the death until you are more able to tolerate what you don't want to believe. Okay, that's a huge part of grief, right? You just don't want to believe it. Be tolerant of your physical and emotional limits. This is so important. People just think, oh, well, I could have done this, whatever. No, be tolerant, okay? Your feelings of loss and sadness will probably leave you fatigued. Your ability to think clearly and make decisions may be impaired. And your low energy level may naturally slow you down. Respect what your body and mind are telling you. Nurture yourself. Get daily rest. Eat balanced meals. Lighten your schedule as much as possible. Caring for yourself doesn't mean feeling sorry for yourself. It means you are using survival skills. And I want to say, when this is talking about someone crossing over, but you can experience grief in many other things, whether it's a loss of a job, a loss of a relationship, whatever. So, keep all this in mind when you're talking. It's not just always just because someone has passed away, okay? Develop a support system. Reaching out to others and accepting support is often difficult, particularly when you hurt so much. But the most compassionate self-action you can do at this difficult time is to find a support system of caring friends and relatives who will provide the understanding you need. Find those who encourage you to be yourself and acknowledge your feelings, both happy and sad. And with that being said, this is a time when you really find out who your friends are. It is kind of cliche, but it really is. When you suddenly lose friends or whatever, people stop talking to you or whatever, and that's hard too, right? It just sort of impacts. So just know the people you're supposed to be with are the people who are going to be there to support you, okay? Make use of ritual. The funeral ritual does more than acknowledge the death of someone loved. It helps provide you with the support of caring people. Most importantly, the funeral is a way for you to express your grief outside yourself. If you eliminate this ritual, you often set yourself up to repress your feelings, and you cheat everyone who cares of a chance to pay tribute to someone who was and always will be loved. Some people, though, don't want one. Okay, so I guess at some point, I've actually done a few readings where people have actually, who didn't want one and the family had one, that the people come back and said thank you. Because, once they cross over, they see different and they realize that it was needed for their people, okay, or for their loved ones. So if you're one of those people who say, no, I don't want anything, I'm not pushing you into things, but just consider that it's a part of a healing for the ones that are left behind as well, okay? Embrace your spirituality. If faith is part of your life, express it in ways that seem appropriate to you. Allow yourself to be around people who understand and support your religious beliefs. If you're angry at God because of the death of someone you love, realize this feeling as a normal part of your grief work. Find someone to talk with who won't be critical of your feelings of hurt and abandonment. okay? You can be mad at whoever you want. It's okay. This is yours, okay? Allow a search for meaning. You may find yourself asking, why did he die? Why this say? Why now? Why did this happen? This search for meaning is often a normal part of the healing process. Some questions have answers, some do not. Actually, the healing occurs in the opportunity to pose these questions, not necessarily in answering them. Find a supportive friend who will listen responsibly as you search for meaning. Okay. Treasure your memories. Memories are one of the best legacies that exist after someone loved dies. Treasure them. Share them with your friends and family. Recognize that your memories may make you laugh or cry. In either case, they are a lasting part of the relationship that you had with a very special person in your life. Okay. And that's really, that's amazing. You can find some of the most treasured memories just out of the blue. I find it's just, they'll just pop up and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I totally forgot about that. And it can really be healing, or it can make you cry, but in either way, you know, it makes you feel. Move towards your grief and heal. The capacity to love requires the necessity to grieve when someone loved dies. You cannot heal unless you openly express your grief. Denying your grief will only make it become more confusing and overwhelming. Embrace your grief and heal. Reconciling your grief will not happen quickly. Remember, grief is a process, not an event. Be patient and tolerant with yourself. Never forget that the death of someone loved changes your life forever. It is not that you won't be happy again. It's simply that you will never be exactly the same as you were before the death. Okay? And he just says, the experience of grief is powerful. So too is your ability to help yourself heal. In doing the work of grieving, you are moving towards a renewed sense of meaning and purpose in life. All right? So, like I said, I found this. I just thought it was a very important reminder, because we always kind of push ourselves aside. And I just thought this was a really good reminder. So I just wanted to share it with you. All right. So I just want to say thank you to those who joined us today, and we will see you next week.